Hey folks, it's Florida Deere. So I recently acquired this ideal, perfectly ideal, well, sort of, has the potential to be perfectly ideal leaf collection system. And the cool part about this, it is not only driven by the PTO, but it also has a hydraulic system on it. There are the hoses which we're going to replace. And so it has the PTO right here, and then we can use the center or the inside one for here. But we're actually not doing that. Part of what we're doing, other than replacing those 7 hoses and this, which I don't know if you can see here, but I have this belt just moves freely. Here, hold on a second. I'll get this. So you can see the 2 pulleys. That pulley there moves, but the belt doesn't. The belt is so loose that it doesn't move. These are pretty tight. These are good. And this thing has just bunches of hydraulic fittings and stuff. My dad's here today working with me, and we're going to switch it over to the 322, and then we're going to return the 420 to VGI. And the cool part about this is I think it's just a smaller platform, which I like. And then also these are much easier to get to than the regular John Deere one is really shoved up under there. Like in the 420, I'll shoot you a picture in a minute. But so we're doing that. So we would have to take off the fender pan on both of them to install the rear PTO. And it's the pulley PTO, not the gearbox PTO, but that's what runs the leaf collection unit over here. As you can see right there, that is what the PTO runs. And it's actually pretty easy so far to take apart. It was basically just these 2 pieces that went up here with a pin, and then this piece right here that goes with a big pin, and that basically has the whole system. That came off, and then we're taking off the hydraulic hoses so we can, right now all the hydraulic hoses are off, so we can just kind of move it back. And then most of the time is going to be spent replacing all this stuff, the PTO, and then putting up this bracket and then getting everything lined up. And this thing, so this is like for tall grass, you're supposed to run the rabbit, but this thing doesn't move. And then smaller, or shorter grass is the turtle, and then somewhere in between, depending on how high the grass is, which is kind of cool. But this thing doesn't move yet, so we're gonna have to try to work on that, see if we can get that going. All right, we're gonna clean this stuff up. And as you can see, this one's pretty dirty. This stuff worked pretty good, the super clean.
Yeah.
So we'll get that. Let it soak for a couple minutes and then try to get all of this. Gosh, and there's like so much shredded belt residue, like powder, like blue powder from where the belt was.
Yeah.
So this thing is just going to be so much cleaner. I forget that. I think I'm about to have to get some more super clean. This is about to run out. Now, for those of you that are worried about these hydraulic fittings, I'm going to kind of blow them out and also hit them with some brake cleaner and stuff like that. Let them dry out. They're going to be cleaned multiple times before we, re-engage those with some hoses. And gosh, even this, just nasty, years and years of nastiness. 322 wasn't this bad. I cleaned it out with some brake cleaner. It was just some light stuff, so this is pretty major. Okay, so the good news is we have everything much cleaner on both tractors, ready for our operation here. And then the bad news is everything is wet. So I laid this down. I'll probably lay a piece of cardboard over there, or another piece of wood, who knows. And but anyways, it's a lot cleaner than it was. Still pretty dirty, but especially the 420, but it's clean enough where it needs to be for us to get to everything. And you can see how this is just rotate that easily. Well, can't you see through my hand, but trust me, that belt is not very tight at all. So anyway, we'll try to get that adjusted correctly, get a new belt probably at Tractor Supply, only because I don't think John Deere is going to have one in stock. So we'll just you know, fit it to the size. All right, this is for the folks that might be interested in MCS. So we pulled the pins off of inside here and here, way over here. I don't know if you can see the pin right there. Okay, and then there's pins that we pulled out of there. So these pins are still in there. So those 4 pins will come out, and that's going to be the structure of the whole thing. And so we're going to take off the whole PTO, which is basically that bolt, these 2 bolts. There's a bolt in here, right there, that connects to the frame. It's like I think that might be like a pin in that. But the biggest thing is tracking this blue wire all the way to the PTO switch, which I started to take off right here. I got the little outside thing off, so we're gonna might have to disassemble more of this. We're gonna see if we can get away without disassembling a bunch of that stuff, but we'll have to figure that out. This is going to be probably the biggest pain in the butt today, is figuring out the wire system, especially on a tractor that has an electric fuel pump and a big giant wire mess over here too. As you can see, this is probably not going to be that fun, but we'll take you along as we go. Okay, so we're at the point where we're disassembling trying to get the rest of the wiring harness out of there, which has kind of been difficult. We've disconnected all of this, and I believe there's a ground down there somewhere. So before we can take this off, we need to take off the rock shaft, which isn't a big problem because we need to take these MCS brackets off, which hold the rock shaft in. So we need to switch these MCS brackets to the other tractor, and then probably put the other tractor's little clamps in there to you know, replace these over here. So this is a little bit more involved. And this one has a sort of a, well, I don't know if that's I don't know if that's how that's going to be an issue for me or not, with that, how that bracket is done, because this bracket already pokes out quite a bit. So I might have to switch out. I might have to take these off and put them in the other bracket, and then put this bracket on the other tractor. We'll see how that works. So that's something I didn't think I'm gonna need to do, but it looks like I'm gonna have to do. So it's just more fun, I guess. Well, this ordeal just keeps going. I mean, I have to take these things off because you can't get the bolts out, so these got to rotate. But that's okay, because these things got to kind of come off anyway. And I thought I was gonna have to take this off, but I slid this out enough to get this bracket out, because this bracket goes around the whole thing. This is an MCS bracket, as well as these things right here. I believe these are exactly the same brackets that I have on the 322. I don't think you can see it right yet over there. Anyways, we'll get over there. I left those on thinking I could just leave them on, and that might work fine. So Thomas might get these back, as well as get a new bracket for his rear hydraulic kit, because I'm going to need the space on my hydraulic kit is this space plus this space. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, so we still got one more bolt here. I think, yeah, just one more bolt. I already got that one and the 2 up front. So this one is, as you can see, it's under there. So that's going to have to be manipulated one way or the other. But I think I'll be fine. I disconnected the rock shaft here. As you can see, that pin's on the ground. I'll have to pick that up. Maybe I just put it right there. So I'm taking a lot more of this apart than I thought I would, but I just didn't know any better. So just, you know, I forgot that these things had to come off, which is not a big deal, but it's just, you know, a little bit more work. We did get the wiring figured out. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to plug everything in the wiring, but I'm trying to get everything off the 420 and try to get it back to him as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible is certainly relative at this point. But anyways, this is where we are here. So I'm gonna have to reassemble all this, but you do need to take the rock shaft off because there's just not enough space to get this. I mean, there might actually be enough space now, but I think I have to take it off anyways to get this thing off. So anyways, that's where we are. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is just take these off, this coupler, and I guess probably maybe loosen these other parts, but I'm gonna have to take off these 2 couplers, get off this bracket. I'm just gonna put it over there and then basically put this back together, So then I'm set with this. I can start putting everything back together on this. And I guess I could just take off these and just use his hydraulic couplers. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'll go through the trouble of taking it off to save my nice looking hydraulic couplers. Anyway, but this will go nicely over there, and then the one I have will go nicely over here. So it's not like we're trying to pin this one way back over here and bend it. Although it would probably fit better, like access to it. But that's what we're going to do now. Okay, folks, so I thought I was in trouble because these are completely different connectors. These are just like compression fittings, and well, I guess these are sort of compression fittings too, but these are the like ball, or I can't remember what they call them. It's not a slip joint. I can't remember what it's called. Sorry about that. Somebody can correct me and put it in the comments. But in any case, we're completely removing these two couplers, connecting to the same lines they were, and then putting them on here and vice versa. The reason why we're doing this is because this is, as you can see there, like 1.5 inches, maybe a hair more than 1.5 inches. And this is like 3/4 to maybe 1 inch. So because the MCS bracket is going to go on this too, it's going to bump it about that far off. So as you can see, this would be like pretty much even right there. As you can see, it's about halfway, and that is about the width of the MCS bracket. So anyway, so he'll get my larger one to kind of put it in the same position that it was before, and I'll get his smaller one with the MCS bracket contained. Well, here we are again with more problems. As you can see here, that pin, or I should say ring retainer, or snap ring, whatever, does retain it, but look how loose it is. See how it's solid there? And then look at this. This is the other problem. It doesn't go through. Now, I can bore that out, most likely. Just slightly, I guess, maybe, hopefully, and get that squared away. And I think what I'm going to do here, since it does keep it, although it's wobbly, is what I'm just going to get is some giant washers that I can slap under that ring that put on like this side, and maybe that's a lot of space to take up, but 1 or 2 washers might do it. That's my fix to this, because there's really not another good fix for this one, I don't think. So anyways, we'll see how that goes. Okay, folks, so I've gotten pretty far since the last time I did a clip. So we've put everything back together. The bracket's here, the bracket there. I did put the bracket in there first and then try to attach these. These are fixed. That was a bad idea. I would attach these to there and then muscle the bracket into place. It's way easier with these types of hydraulic fittings. And I still need to put the arms back on there. Probably need to get somebody to lift up the deck to get these arms further back, or the rods, or whatever you want to call these, the little plate things. And then the PTO is solid in there, and then I'll connect the cylinder. So we did do that. I did. Thomas did get a set of new hydraulic lines right there. Not lines, but couplers and the bracket and hardware for the thing, because I needed to use all this. So this is right here. Everything's loose because I haven't put anything back together yet. I did do the PTO. Unfortunately, there's a for the ground, and also to keep this thing stable so it doesn't spin freely. There's this bar right, I don't know if you can see it right here. Right there going across. That has a just pin on it, and then you can actually see I have a hairpin cotter. He did not have a hairpin cotter, but the other thing is, this was a carriage bolt right there. My hole in my tractor frame was round, so I had to go find a bolt, not a problem. That was pretty easy. And then I had to cut it off, as you can see here. And then I could put everything back on. So it's coming together. I still need to put the cylinder on here, tighten all this stuff up, and then put the rods back on this tractor too. And then I think the only thing I have to do is finish the wiring. I got the ground squared away, and then this runs up there. I still have that part is the only part that's still attached to the 420, and I need to put the other PTO switch and anchor everything down on the 420. As you can see, the dash tower is a little bit separated right now in order to get access to the bulb for the PTO light as well as the PTO switch, and we'll have to do kind of the same over here. I might be able to get enough access through those side panels. I'm not sure though. That probably is not going to be, it's probably just not going to work out for me. I'm probably going to have to disassemble something the way things go when I deal with tractors. So anyways, we're getting closer. I think the next clip I'll have everything tightened up. I do need to run a tractor supply. I got a 33 by 3/8 inch belt for this. That's what it looked like. He said it's a 1/2 inch by 31, which doesn't seem like that's at all the case. I mean, that's a pretty narrow thing, but I'm gonna do what he said and get that and see how badly this thing fits. But we'll see. Eventually we'll get the right belt, and I didn't have any of the hoses remade. I'm gonna put them all, I'm gonna connect them all. I don't know where I put them. No, I don't know where they are. Anyway, I'll get them. I want to see which ones leak, and if they don't leak, I'm not going to replace them. I'm just going to save the money, and even if they're kind of ugly looking or whatever, that's fine. I mean, if they're in really bad shape but they don't leak, then maybe I'll get them replaced. But if they're remotely decent and in good shape, then I'll keep them. Okay, so we're this far along where we've got everything installed here, including the wires. I'm trying to figure out if I need to reroute that somewhere. If I want to do that under that bar, I made this a quick connect, so that's doable. And then it goes up through there into here. And then I do have, as you can see here, so that PTO switch works. That PTO, it clicks. There, you can hear it back here. So that's cool. And so that's all squared away. So this is going to go back on here. And I just need to put this back together. I started putting the switch back together right here, but I have to put the dash tower all back together, and then I just need somebody to help me with the pan, and then this will be pretty much done. I am going to replace his belt. He gave me a belt in case this one broke, and this belt, I mean, this thing has seen better days. The owners of this tractor have definitely gotten their money's worth on this belt. But anyway, so we got all that squared away with the wiring harness, switches installed, the lights work, so everything's ready to go together, and I'll pick you up with that in the next video. We'll probably have the belt on and this contraption back on there as well. We'll see how that goes. Okay, folks, it's raining again, but we've got the 420 all squared away. The only casualty was the feature there on the keychain that fell off. I'm sure Thomas will be devastated. Oh, I do have to get the rock shaft cylinder reconnected. And man, these things are so much better. Ron Ellis with Auxiliary Hydraulics, his bracket is so much better. I think it just sits lower, so it's much easier access than the OEM Deere one, which I think is okay, but it's like tucked up here, and I'll show you what I mean. This is what mine looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. Hold on. All right, so this is what it looks like right now. I mean, I don't know, you really can't see it that well, but it is like, if I'm straight on, like that is kind of underneath the pan, which is a tear. I'm probably gonna cut some of this off. Almost certainly gonna cut some of that off really close to the tail light. But as you can see, we got the whole thing squared away. The 322 is, I'll step away from here, is all squared away, except for also the rock shaft cylinder. I still don't have that. That's the last casualty on both tractors that I have not fixed yet. And this thing, this bracket for the MCS is a nightmare, a freaking nightmare to put on. It is absolute nightmare to put on. The thing is like gotta be 150 pounds. It's probably like 80 pounds, and I just need to hit the gym or something. But the pointy pins are for down there, up here. Where is it? Right there, and right there. The flatter pins, and I say the flatter pins, the ones that are flat at the end, are for the actual bagging unit, or it's actually not a bag unit. It's actually a dump cart right there that I kind of pre-positioned while my father was here to give me some leverage. I got to clean that out and stuff. Anyway, I did put that, it rained, so I put that over the hydraulics. I need to kind of force as much out as I can, because this has a different fluid than that. That had the more red fluid, and this one has premium hydraulic fluid, which is like amber, or kind of like what it's J20C equivalent, which is the regular hydraulic fluid for the Deere uses. Anyways, I'm not gonna, this is not a hydraulic discussion. That'll blow this thing up if we get too involved with that. But anyway, so all this fit together. My buddy Thomas was saying use a 31 by ½ inch. It didn't seem like it was going to be that size, because this is what came off the thing on the right hand side, and then that was the ½ inch on the left. So I thought for sure it was a 3/8, so I ordered this one, and as you can see, they're pretty similar in size, but this one was too long. But anyway, so I did use the ½ inch. I got it from Tractor Supply. I got a 32 just in case, because I thought he was a liar. And but I had to make another trip there, because I got a 31 by ½, but then when I went to go put it on, I was trying to put it on, and this was just not going together. And then I realized, I looked on the belt and it said 30 by ½. So somebody slipped a 30 in there and the 31 sleeve. So I mean, that's on me. I should have just looked before I left. I should know better than to trust Tractor Supply on getting my parts correct. But anyway, I am still trying to figure out how this operates, because I haven't been able to get this to really move. That rotates or pivots on this to adjust the speed. Like if you have shorter grass, you can use that, and taller grass, you can use that one. And I got to get everything hooked up, all the hydraulics lines. I'm still gonna probably use these hydraulic lines unless they're leaking specifically, and then I'll replace those if I need to. So I was going to get all lines to begin with. I think I said that earlier in the video, but I decided not to do that because it's probably just going to be pricey, and I really need to get to this leaf job. It's really starting to pile up in the yard. I mean, not really crazy, but I need to get it done. Okay guys, so we're at the end of this video for the most part. So a couple things, it basically works, and when I say basically works, I mean in theory all of it works. It doesn't work very good right now. As you can see, I did add some suitcase weights to the front. The steering was a little bad just with the wheel weights, so that fixed that. I do have to see if there's some more drippage. There's definitely some drippage down there, so I'm losing some amount of hydraulic fluid through the leaks there, I guess. And I guess I'll leave that relaxed. This thing does wiggle down. I have to wiggle it a little bit when it goes down right at the end. I've cleaned the guides as best I can. I don't know what else to do other than maybe the hydraulics will continue to get better. I do need to get a new hose and a deck adapter. I do have a deck adapter, as you can see here. I just need to cut it correctly and then get some big, I think 7 or 8 inch clamps, hose clamps for like there and for the deck adapter. Although I'll probably be able to slide that onto the deck adapter enough. This tape is just, I guess it's right there for now. I might have somebody clean it up and weld that or something so it looks better. There is a cover that goes over here. I'm not too concerned about that amount of safety right now, just because no one's going to be close to doing anything when that thing's going. You know, no one's going to be close to me. This thing goes all over the place because this thing won't pop forward or pop up. So now it's in like all the positions. So I think I shredded the belt. Now I could put this belt back on, but I do have some other belts that right there that I can put on there. So I'll do that. I'm trying to get the hydraulic fluid squared away as well. And that has been a little bit of a chore, trying to make sure, because it'll be jerky and then it'll seem to run fine and stuff. And And I just wonder what the reserve capacity in one of these is. It didn't say anything about a relief valve that I'm aware of. I did replace the coupler with an actually older one. There's nothing wrong with a new one. I just had stolen in a previous project the O-ring from it, so it leaked like crazy. So that was the issue. And I don't know if I had that in the video earlier. I can't remember. This has been a long video in the coming. I need to blow it off. I hate leaving the tractor like this dirty, but I don't have the blower here, and it's a couple days before Christmas, so I'm trying to get stuff squared away. Anyway, that's kind of where we are right now. And like I said, overall it works. I'll do an update video where I actually kind of highlight the actual unit and stuff all put together, and then we'll go from there. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful in some ways if you're trying to transfer one, disassembly or installation on, one tractor to a next, or if you're just getting it, trying to get one off of another tractor or trying to put one on. Hopefully, if you picked up, depending on where you was in this video, that would be helpful. And if you wanted to see more videos about John Deere garden tractors and the John Deere 1 Series, you can hit the subscribe button as well. I appreciate you watching, especially if you made it this far. That's pretty amazing. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.